Hello, friends and family and wonderful people that are showing up here to be with me today. I am Deborah Sweet and welcome to Trailblazing TV. I'm super excited to share with you what we're going to get into today because this is a subject that everybody has a relationship with. So I am really looking forward to sharing some tips and insights and share with you a little bit more of what I taught recently at my hands-on half-day Brand You workshop. So here's my question to you. In your business, in your job, how many times do you struggle or feel frustrated with or start to get locked down, constricted when the subject of money comes up? Most people have a money story. And so today I'm going to share a little bit about how this money story is impacting the results that you want in your life. I'm going to talk a little bit too about some of the distinctions and how it has a very large but subtle impact on how you're branding yourself, how you're showing up. And I'm going to talk about what you can do to move through into a different place where money no longer becomes an issue for you. So I encourage you, grab some paper because I know I'm going to go into some flow, and there's going to be some ahas that I'm sharing with you today around moving to the next side or the next level of your money story. So as you come on, make sure you say hello. I'm really thrilled to share with you. So let's talk about money. When I work with my clients, whether we're in the place of helping them to effectively implement strategic marketing that we've planned, developed, and we are managing, or if I'm starting at a different place where we're developing the infrastructure, the systems, the process, procedures that your company needs or your company should have to have effective marketing at your fingertips, right? Those two things need to go together. In that integration, regardless of what side of the coin you're on, there's a money story that is rolling through your business. There's a money story that you live every day. So I'd love to see by a show of hands, how many of you have heard about money stories and how many of you, this is new. Make sure you leave me a comment below because I'm hoping that for those of you, if you've heard about this before, that you'll glean a couple of new insights to move 2 steps forward. For those of you that this is a new subject, I hope that you should get some very distinct ahas through our time here together. So when I'm going to talk specifically here about the United States, right? We have grown up in an environment for the last century or so where there's definitely been a radical separation of mindset around money. And if you ask 100 people what is the very first thing that they think about when they think about themselves having money, you're going to get about 100 different answers. And so for me, when I was growing up, part of my background, and some of you, you've heard some of my stories about how I grew up. One of the things that was really interesting, it was part of my money story and has been for a long time. And this one actually served me well to a point. So I'm going to share this to see if it relates to you, right? So in my upbringing, part of my money story that I don't know where it came from, but I always had this belief and this acknowledgement, and it was like a very firmly rooted belief that money will show up right when you need it. There's always just enough money. It'll be here, it'll be on time, and there it is, right? So when you're building a business and you're paying your bills, right, you're living life, we all need money to function with. Now, I know there's a whole dialogue around what I just stated right there, right? Prior to the beginning of the century and over many generations, the transition or the transfer of a product, a service for something else of like kind value, there were generations where bartering was an option. Sometimes it was you bartered a thing for a like kind of thing. Sometimes it was knowledge for knowledge, time for time, right? And there has always been an aspect around something of wealth, something of value that was exchanged for a product, a good, a service, or time. So for today, I'm just going to literally talk about what we reference here in the United States as cold hard cash money, right? So when we're talking about building a business, you as a business owner, or if you're in charge of a department, you're going to have times where you need to give money, right? You have to exchange out money so that your company or you personally can receive a product or a service that is going to help serve and fulfill you. And there are some people, that's their whole job. They're all, that's what their sole focus is making sure they pay the bills, they receive the money, they pay the bills, right? And those are very important aspects that you should have covered in your business or in your life, right? If that's not a comfort zone for you yet, to be in control and fully claim your own money story and your own money management, definitely know that you have somebody by your side that you can trust to handle that well while you learn skills to manage and oversee, right? And then there's other times where if you are the owner of the business, or you're out marketing, or you're in charge of doing sales, you need to receive money coming in, right? Your company, all businesses need to be compensated and deserve to be profitable. And usually the transaction of the paper, right, the money, is how we get our compensation. Now here's a really interesting thing. When it comes to money stories, I hear this all the time. So when I talk to clients about working with me in a one-to-one level, again, either around, are we going to do effective marketing, or do we have to prepare the business in different ways first before you can handle more marketing? A lot of times what I'm going to ask my clients are, I want to snapshot, what level of financial success have you achieved thus far, right? How much money are you making on an annual basis? And it's really interesting because over my years of helping businesses scale up through layers of entrepreneurship, there are these common levels of business growth that I have seen. So one of the stages starts out, and I would encourage you, think about where you're at and where do you want to be. Okay, where are you at financially with the revenue of your company, and where do you want to be? If you're comfortable sharing with me a little bit below, I'd love to hear from you. So from startup, there are some companies that go from startup to $100,000 in a year. Some go from startup to $250,000. Some will go from startup to $1 million, right? That's a pretty hefty expansion from zero to over $1 million in a year. But those businesses are not the norm. The majority of what I see are companies that will go from 0 to 100,000, and then there's the next step, right? 100 to 250, and then there's another step, 250 to 500, and then there's another step, 500 to 750. And a lot of companies that achieve sales revenue at $750,000, they get into what I call the 750 spin. They will just spin and spin and spin and spin. Now, first of all, if that is you and you've achieved that level of success, congratulations, that's a big deal. You're doing a lot of things right. But I also know at each one of these stages, there are other things there are gaps within your company that are preventing you from going up to that next level, okay? So to go from 750 to 1 million, it's actually, there's some interesting things that need to be refined and fine-tuned, and then you can step up into that seven-figure place, right? So regardless of what level you're at right now for your revenue and your income, one of the common threads that runs through all of that is money. So we're talking about numbers on paper right now. So let's just assume that I'm talking with a company and they're at 250,000 in sales for a 12-month period. And I'll say to them, you know, to go from 250 to $500,000 in a year is easy. To double up is easy. And what's really interesting is that it doesn't matter what numbers I pick. If I say 100 to 200,000, from 250 to 500, 500 to $1 million is easy with the right systems. What is the common reply that I hear back is, you can do that, right? So what excites me is when I'm able to kind of poke the bear, so to speak, and actually create an awareness that yes, it is possible. But in the aspect of what's possible and then doing, one of the things that we need to really look at is, what's your money story, right? Are you comfortable talking about money? So Deborah's stepping up. I'm on my purple throne. So I'm sitting on the purple throne today, and I'm sitting a little taller because I want to encourage you to start talking about money. Here's the thing. I've taught this over years. Oh my gosh, I've taught this in the space of networking. Like, networking is one slice of a marketing pie, right? So you have a marketing pie, and there's 10, 50 different things you can do. Hey, I'm going to say hello to everybody. Thanks for being here. So of all these different things that you can do, marketing is a slice of a pie, right? So it doesn't matter what you're doing right now to build your business. It doesn't matter what kind of networking or what kind of marketing or what you're doing to grow your company. If you are uncomfortable talking about money, money will not show up to you. Let me state that again. If you are uncomfortable talking about money, money will not show up to you. And here's why. When you're able to clearly declare how much money you want to make in a given time, you're setting some boundaries. You're setting a trajectory for yourself. It's a goal, right? You're setting a goal. Where are you at today? Where do you want to be 12 months from now? If you are not comfortable being clear in what that growth looks like, how can you lead yourself, or how can you lead others along the journey to help you acquire and accomplish what you want? And I know there are many people, so I'm going to go into another blip of a money story, right? There are lists of different stories and excuses and reasons that we have deep in the recesses of our thinking that connect or that are tied to our relationship with money. So everybody's is a little different. And I just want you to think about what's the conversations that run in your head around your money, right? Do you talk about, well, getting money is hard? Or do you say, money comes to me easily? Getting money is hard, money comes to me easily. Those are two very different mindsets around money. I deserve money. I don't deserve money. I have to exchange time for dollars, right? I can only charge a certain amount because that's all people will pay. That's a big fat lie, first of all. So if that's running through your head, I'm just here to tell you that's a dirty filter, that we can clean that filter around your money, because you're worth a whole lot more than what you're getting paid for, right? Or, oh boy, there's a classic one that we grew up with in our early years, which is money doesn't grow on trees. Well, there is actually something called the money tree. And on top of that, I beg to differ. Money is energetic. Our energy and our thought process with our relationship with money is one of the deepest driving forces behind whether you will achieve the income that you desire or you speak, or whether you will not. So let's go back into you in your business, right? You've set a goal for yourself. How much money do you need to make? How much money do you need to bring in this week, today, for the year, right? I like to go macro. Let's talk 12 months, and then we chunk it down. Now, depending upon how you think and what your comfort level is, I like round numbers. See, I grew up money handling. From the time I was very young, I was doing things that put money in my hands all the time. I was cash register. I was selling things that we did the old school cash register, making change, all that kind of stuff. I didn't grow up with calculators. I learned how to do business and numbers in my head, and I related it to nickels, dimes, quarters, and dollars, right? So as I give you this quick little example, please just understand I'm going to oversimplify on purpose to share a point. So let's say that you decide that you want to make $100,000 this year. Or for those of you that want to make $1 million over the next 12 months, that's $83,333. So just round it up to $85,000 a month, right? For those of you that want to do $100,000 for the year, let's chunk that down by 12 months at a time. Bear with me. Some of you are math experts. I'm going to get this close enough, right? But $100,000, actually, I will crack out the calculator. $100,000 divided by 12. Let's see what that is. $100,000 divided by 12. That is $8,000 $333 a month. Now, I like round numbers, so why not pop it up to $9,000 a month? Okay. So again, we're setting some boundaries right now, and my encouragement for you as I'm doing this math and I'm talking through numbers is pay attention to how you receive what I'm saying. Okay, let me explain that again. As I'm talking numbers and I'm leading you through a concept here, I'd like to ask you to pay attention to how you feel. How are you receiving the words that I'm saying? Do you get excited and elated? Are you like, woohoo? Or is the very fact that I'm talking about these numbers and I'm making them, like I'm talking about money, is it causing this constriction in the pit of your belly? If it's causing a constriction in the pit of your belly, that is a tell that you have a money fear and a money story that is lying to you. It is preventing you from having the very thing that you are working for. And the good news is, by identifying first what it is that is how do you feel around the whole concept and the relationship with money? If you have that pit in your stomach, I promise you there's ways that we can remove it. We can help you shift your money story, and money can start flowing to you super easily, right? If you're elated and you just need another support system, woohoo! This is great. This should excite you to a whole new level. All right, so let's go back to the examples here for a second. So when we're talking about receiving money in and spending money, right, or giving money out, your relationship with money is super important. So in pure numerics for the growth of your business, the growth of your department, if you want to bring on $100,000 for the year, I rounded it up so you make a little bit more, it's $9,000 a month. You take $9,000 a month, divide it by 4, that's 4 weeks, that's $22.50 a week. Now divide that by 5, and that is $450 a day if you're working a 20-day business, right? You're working 20 days a month. You only have to bring on or sell $450 a day to add $100,000 into your income cycle, okay? Now, when we're talking about the belief system around money, and I'm talking about doubling up, here's what's really interesting, and here's what I talk a lot about at the Brand You workshop, and it's what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. We're starting tomorrow. I am actually tomorrow I'm going to do a webinar that I'll post some information below. So if you really want to dive deeper into this with me, you can learn more with me tomorrow. But when we're talking about receiving money, most people create an unintentional block in their life from receiving money because most people also have another money story that it's a fraud. Okay, I'm going to call it out if this is yours. I will tell you this was one of mine. Most people have a hard time receiving money because when they do get money, they have a really hard time letting it go. Okay? And so when you receive money, you get paid, you're working, you work for a company and they pay you. Are you elated when you receive that money? When you get your paycheck, are you like, woohoo, this is great? Or are you receiving that paycheck and you're like, oh man, this is barely gonna make it, and now I don't know what I'm gonna do, and I got this bill and I got that bill and I don't know how I'm gonna spend it, what am I gonna do? And you start to constrict, right? Or are you that person that when you get your paycheck or your client pays in, you're like, oh my gosh, thank you, this is so amazing. I can't wait to give of my heart. I'm going to give the first 10% into a tithe, into a charity, into a donation. I'm going to take the next 10% and I'm going to save myself. And now I'm left with my 80%, right? And you're elated to do that. Like, what's your money story all around, first of all, receiving money? Or are you the kind of person like, so this was something that I had to grow through, right? I grew up with the money story that we have to hide our wealth, right? And my family, there's many of you that you know my family. I love my family and I'm thankful for my family. But there's this belief system that showed up for me because of how I grew up and the environment I was in, that we were not supposed to show our wealth. Okay. And I didn't used to publicly share that. I've worked through this, and this is why I'm sharing, because it might resonate with one of you. I don't want people to know that I've got money, right? We're not supposed to let people know that we have money. Because see, that right there is a big fat lie. There's nothing wrong with money. Money is not the problem. Money is just paper and energy, right? It's a transference of paper and energy. Yes, we need money to function, to pay the bills, but in the way the world is going, even some of the way that you grow your company, if you're not cash liquid, you don't have cash flow through your company, which is super important. You must have cash flow through your company, and you need things, you can still barter. We can do it old school, right? You can barter, you can trade time, service, product, right? While you're waiting to receive the money. But if you have these dirty money filters that are churning and they show up, you may not always hear it in your head. You're going to feel it in your pit of your stomach, and it might make your heart, sometimes like when you're dealing with money, talking about money, man, it might just like thump your heart so hard. You're like, oh my gosh, why am I sweating about doing this? So my sitting on my purple throne and really calling you out and sharing with you and inviting you to pay attention to how do you resonate with the relationship of money is because if you're sitting on that negative side, that constricting side, there's this emotional spiral that shows up. It starts out with overwhelm, and then we slip into sadness, and then we slip into more of depression and loneliness and disease and death. It can show up like that spiral can spiral around our money. Oh, hey, Marcy, thank you so much for this. Marcy just shared, I read and loved the book, You Are a Badass at Making Money, and it's exactly this conversation. This is awesome. I've never read the book, so thanks for sharing. I'm glad I'm aligned with great minds, right? So the thing about, let me go back into flow here, right? So if you have that negative constricting aspect about money, and your access to money, your capabilities of money can go in that I'm overwhelmed about money. I don't know about money. I'm not comfortable talking about money. And your money capacity can slide down into sickness, disease, and death. And that's not what you want. Now, when you're talking about your business, and your business is responsible for serving others through your product, your knowledge, your heart, what you bring to the table, and part of how you get to stay in business is you need to allow people to pay you, right? And pay you well. If you're not comfortable receiving and you're constricting all the time in receiving, or you're so quick to pass that money through without giving that money some acknowledgement or without that excitement, you're going to always sit in that struggle. And then there's one more shift, right? Now we're talking about marketing. You need to invest into marketing. Maybe you have to put some money into your marketing. Oh my Lord, I can't tell you how many conversations I've had here where people because they're showing up with the money story, it's based on constriction instead of abundance, because most people are not aware that they have a money story that's running through their life and in their business. And so now when you need to invest into marketing, some people, they throw their money everywhere without a strategic plan. And then they say, well, marketing doesn't work. No, marketing does work if it's done and it's planned right and it's well crafted and aligned with the essence of who you are, so your brand truly shines, right? You can live your brand, and you have clarity on visuals, verbals, what needs to be in your marketing. Now you can invest wisely, and hopefully you'll be living in the state of abundance with money while you invest into this, not with the mindset of what's my ROI. Now, I work with a lot of guys, I work with a lot of women, and I will tell you, men, I get it. I know what you're talking about. You're saying when I give you $1,000, you want your $1,000 back plus some, and you want to know how fast you're going to get it, right? So ROI today, this is a little side tip, side training. ROI today in marketing is not just about money in the bank. This is a whole different conversation, but I'm going to keep this tight with money. So when you invest into your marketing, but if you have a constricting belief attached to your money, when you give the money to those who are going to serve you with marketing, you are actually, that constriction, it's in your hand, it's in your heart, it's in your belly, it's in your head. It's actually going to prevent that marketing from bringing to you the very thing that you want, which is more clients and more opportunity to serve more people. And now we're going to shift one other level, which is all around selling, right? See, there's a core four in our business. Our core four is my description, which has to do with one leg. If you imagine and envision for a second a stool, and this is the stool that supports your business. One leg is all about business, systems, operations, process, procedure. One leg is all about leadership. And my friend, we're working in this one today. We're talking through this one today, right? Because I'm encouraging you to lead yourself with and through your money stories that are showing up now. There's another leg that's all about marketing. There's another leg that's all about sales. And then the top part, the seat, this is the seat of how you serve your clients, but it's also the space where the money conversation, it's covering all four of those legs, right? So when it comes to selling, I already know that I tend to attract a lot of introverts. I'm an introvert. Yes, I am. But I've gained a lot of skills that allow me to present in a way where I'm very confident, right? And I'm very confident talking about money. I have some really big money goals. I need a lot of money to take me into my future and serve our future generation, right? Doesn't mean I'm keeping it all. I just need to utilize it to work with it. So in the aspect of selling is a skill that we all do. We all use day in, day out. If you're a mom and you're trying to get your child to eat the peanut butter and jelly sandwich and he's like, Mom, I don't want it, you're going to turn on your mama skills, your selling skills, and you're going to tell him how awesome that peanut butter and jelly sandwich is, right? That's selling. When you are sitting in front of your clients and you're talking about what you do and you're problem solving, and now you're inviting them in to work with you, and you're also wanting to make sure that you get compensated for what you do, your money story is going to show up. So are you comfortable in that state of selling? Are you comfortable actually expressing, I charge $10,000, I charge $50,000 to work with me, right? Maybe your money story is, maybe what comes with you at this point for your services is maybe it's $20, maybe it's $200. It's not about the dollar value right now. It's about the confidence that shows up when you talk about money. If you are not confident talking about money, and so this is the overlay right here, right? If you are not comfortable talking about money, and when you do talk about money, you get that pit in your stomach, you get that fast, rapid pace in your heart. I'm just sharing with you that those are tells that you have some money stories that are mucking up in the background, and this is the perfect time for you to just let go and release. Because my friend, you deserve to step through and move beyond the money story that's been running in the background, because you're not that same person that you were yesterday. Like some of those money stories that I had when I was growing up, right? Money will always be there. There'll be just enough. And I can't reveal my wealth, right? I have to hide my money. Those were survival beliefs. Those beliefs allowed me to survive and eke by, but they did not allow me to thrive. And for those of you who have seen, if you've seen anything that I've been posting the last few years, I'm on a mission to help create a thrival. A thrival is a revival of heart, soul, body, mind, soul, and spirit. So what you say, how you act, what you think, what you feel, what you do, they're all in alignment, so that ultimately you can discover your true power, your true essence, and you can live your life and lead your business and discover true joy and have that abundance that you so rightly deserve. So this has been quite an afternoon. I went a little longer than I anticipated. So thank you for those of you who have been with me today. Hello to those of you who have just joined on. I want to say hi to Elaine and Catherine and Mickey and Colette and Carol and Marcy, you rock, and Patty and Sean and Nathan, and there's a whole host of you. So I'm here to help share with you. So if any of this has pinged in your heart, please comment below, or as you've said hello, say yes, right? because tomorrow I'm going to do tomorrow morning. So be with me tomorrow morning. I am going to do one short live again, because there's another piece of the puzzle that I want to bring to the table that is kind of an aspect of what we went through in our Brand You half-day workshop last Wednesday. But tomorrow, tomorrow afternoon from 1 to 2 p.m. Pacific time, I'm actually holding a live webinar that's all about Brand You. You're going to get a deeper dive into some of the things I've been teaching and training about yesterday, today, and tomorrow morning. And so I'm going to post a link down below, and I encourage you, if anything I've talked about today has made you say yes, even if it's the sweating bullets about what I'm speaking, just know that you're so ready. I'm here. I want to invite you in and lock arms with me. I've been investing my money, my time, my effort, my heart for years to get myself out of this survival mode so that more of these big, amazing dreams and goals that I have can come to fruition. And my goals include you. See, I was here I've got this PhD in life that has prepared me to be, we've just named myself the Empress of Becoming, right? So whether you're my rock star dude or you're another Empress that's right along with me, I want to help you live the life that you've always wanted. But that takes us connecting together. It doesn't matter to me where you're at. What's important is where do you want to be? And my people know it. They know it in their heart. They know it in their gut that I'm the right person to help guide them through, because I've had this crazy ass journey that's helped me acquire some knowledge that my goal, my heart, my intention is to short track your learning curve so you can fast track your way into truly living and expressing the brand of you, because this is something that's very unique that most people in marketing and business won't talk to you about. And so again, I'm going to put a link down here below as soon as we wrap up with this video. It is going to be the link to register for the webinar tomorrow. So again, that time is going to be live from 1 to 2 p.m. Pacific time. I'm going to do a deeper dive into this whole concept of Brand You. I encourage you, invite your friends and reserve your spot. And I'm going to leave you with this. You are so wanted. You are so needed. You too have been on a journey that along the way you're learning different aspects of life, living, and doing business, that together it's your secret sauce. It's your recipe that makes you uniquely you. And there's a whole audience that's waiting to learn from you and support you in a way that you've never experienced before. We are not here accidentally. We are here intentionally. My people are connected. We are connected by divine design. I do not hide it. We just live it, right? And I know that my best people, you're trailblazing too. You're working through something, and what you're really looking for is that space where you can have that confidence to know somebody's got your back. I've walked the walk. I've talked the talk, and I show up with no judgment. Because if you knew the mess that I've come through, I'm not at a place. I don't even come to the table with any judgment, right? It's more compassion and love and caring. Because we are living in a time where that's not so much in existence anymore. And I have gone through way too much. And part of my purpose is to help serve you and show you and inspire you so that you can get to that place where you too can truly shine with who you are and what you do. So I want to thank you all for investing a little time here with me today. I look forward to being with you tomorrow. And remember, live in your power, live in your peace. You are absolutely amazing, and let's rock our day.